Apple Card is the credit card created by Apple. You earn 3% daily cash back up front when you use it to buy a new iPhone 15, AirPods, or any products at Apple. And you can automatically grow your daily cash at 4.15% annual percentage yield when you open a high-yield savings account. Apply for Apple Card in the Wallet app on iPhone. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility. Savings accounts by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC. Terms apply.
Max, the one to watch for the best in entertainment, now has live sports with the Bleacher Report sports add-on.
5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go.
Stream hundreds of select live games from MLB.
That's gonna go!
NBA, NHL, U.S. Soccer, and NCAA Men's March Madness.
We just see what we think we just saw!
And it's all included for a limited time with any Max subscription.
He got him!
After the promo period, add it for $9.99 a month. Base subscription required.
Wow, welcome back to Serie A, everybody. Nicky here with a little mini-sode for all of our Serie A Chronicles tifosi. Tide you over until Mina and I get together again next week. Gosh, though, what a restart to the Serie A season. I don't think Mina and I really talked about enough on the podcast this week about sort of the nature of what was happening with this round of games. Serie A does this basically every year. It comes back after the winter break with a sort of calendar of games, a full round of games spread through a full day. And normally that's scheduled for Epiphany, for the 6th of January, which is a Christian holiday. And so it's a day off work for everyone in Italy, and they schedule the games all through the day. So starting from lunchtime all the way through to the end of the evening. And it turns the holiday into a big sort of sport watching day as well. But because Epiphany falls on the Friday this year, and because the World Cup has squeezed up the schedules, they decided, well, no, we've got to do it a bit earlier, the restart, we've got to start on the 4th. And just sort of not respecting at all, frankly, the fact that that's a work day for most regular Italians. They just schedule games the same as they would for Epiphanies. They had games from lunchtime, which did mean some slightly odd dynamics in the stadium. So there were some empty seats in those earlier games that wouldn't have been empty if this had been played on a normal day. But from a TV watching standpoint, from a journalist's standpoint, in my case, it was an extraordinary day because, yes, we had, the World Cup where it was 4 games in a row in the group stage, or, 4 in blocks of 2 on the last round of the group stage. But for Serie A's return, we got 10 games in blocks of 2 all through the day. So 10 games in 2 at a time. But effectively, you could watch 5 back to back to back to back to back. And it felt like the action just did not stop, right? Like starting the day, I was screening all day, but starting the day with Milan and reigning champions, of course, and Rafael Leao, who always seems to start a year fast. Within 10 minutes gets that goal, and he's combining with Tonali, and it's brilliant. And Tonali scores the next one, and it looks like Milan are going to run away with it. And even Tomori gets it on the end and gets the ball in the net, but it's disallowed. And then suddenly at the end, this sort of dramatic turnaround with Bonazzoli's goal and actually Salernitana making it close, making it scary for Milan. And at the same time as that, you had Sampdoria, by the way, beating Sassuolo. A really nice performance, strong performance from Sampdoria after what's been a really difficult season for them so far. They've scored 6 goals in total through the 15 games before the World Cup break. They scored 2 to beat Sassuolo, so they've already a third of the goals they scored in the entire season in a single game. So right from the beginning, what a start to the day. Then you had Atalanta's 2-goal comeback against Spezia with the Paslic's equaliser in second half injury time. You go on to the 2 Rome clubs playing, and you've got Lazio upset by Lecce, and then Tammy Abraham clearing off the line in the last minute for Roma against Bologna to keep the win for them. Then it's Juventus and Arik Milik needing to score. That was also an injury time, wasn't it? Certainly right at the death goal for them to beat Cremonese, who had 7 points all season, haven't won a game all season. But at the same time, look at Juventus's recent record. It's, I think, 7 games in a row now that they've won without conceding a single goal. So Allegri ball alive and well. I know Mina was delighted, as she is always when it's a grim 1-0 win. That's her bread and butter. She loves a rugby ball. And then we go on to the evening, and with apologies to Udinese Empoli, which was on at the same time, there was a very clear sort of headline event to the evening, which we of course talked about on the podcast, which was Inter against Napoli. And I was pretty sort of clear, wasn't I, on the podcast, how much I was looking forward to watching Napoli again. This sort of free-flying, brilliant Napoli we'd seen through the first part of the season, the last unbeaten team in Europe's top 5 leagues. And I thought, as a game, it lived up to the hype. I found it a really compelling game, but Napoli really didn't. And it's still the puzzle that I'm reflecting on as I sort of think on the game now that it's finished. Was this just Inter being brilliant, or was it also Napoli not being quite at the races and not being in the place that we saw them at the end of last year? And those are two things to pull apart, I guess. But certainly on the Inter side of it, and that's the side I want to focus on, I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were absolutely wonderful in this game and fully deserved the points right from the start, allowing Napoli to have the ball. That wasn't a big surprise, but really going for the jugular whenever they had the chance. I mean, the first few minutes of that game, it felt like there was just a constant stream of Inter chances. There was Darmian firing over, there was Di Marco had a chance, you had Lukaku firing over. And it was a really sort of neat sort of case study in that, again, letting Napoli have the ball, but being sort of coiled spring, ready to explode forward and attack every time. And it felt to me at that moment, I thought, is this going to be what they regret, right? You know, and you've had all those chances at the beginning of the game, you didn't take them, you're playing Napoli, they're brilliant, we know they are. Is it going to come back to haunt you? But it just didn't. And it was really all through this game, just so much to be impressed with by Inter. I thought they did a really sort of nuanced job through the game of sometimes bringing that press very aggressively onto Napoli and sometimes actually just sitting off and being deep and that sort of alternation, not being one thing, but being fluid, being different things throughout the game.
Become a member at patreon.com/Serie A Chronicles for regular bonus episodes and content.
È finita! L'Inter ha battuto il Napoli per 1-0, ha deciso la rete di Edin Dzeko all'11° del secondo tempo, prima sconfitta per la capolista in campionato ed ora
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.